Hello everyone. Welcome to Turner's Tutoring Story Time. Thank you for joining me. Today's story is The Adventure Friends Treasure Map. And remember to have your tracker or to be following along on the screen as I read. Let's go ahead and get started. We have a few things that we're going to learn about also. First one is a table of contents. This holds some of the sections that we will be reading about today. The next is sometimes a story might give you a map of where the story takes place. Now this is a fiction story, so this is a made-up town, but it still uses some realistic features. Pause the video and see if you can point out some of the realistic features in it. Let's go ahead and meet the characters. We have Clark, who's new to the town, loves planning, drawing, and adventure. And we have Miguel, knows everyone in town, loves bugs, surprises, and adventure. She has her adventure bag, adventure socks, and adventure fuel. This is what Clark calls her mom's trail mix. Miguel, has the compass and a walkie-talkie. Let's go ahead and get started in our first chapter or section. Welcome to the neighborhood. Miguel sat at his window. A moving truck sat in front of an empty house. New neighbors, said Miguel. Miguel loved meeting new people. He ran outside to greet his new neighbor. Hi, I'm Miguel, said Miguel. I like your bag. What's your name? Clark, replied Clark. And this is not just a bag. It is my adventure bag. Cool, said Miguel. I brought you something, Miguel said. It's great for adventures. He held out a walkie-talkie. It's like a phone, but for spies and treasure hunters. Thanks, said Clark. Do you like adventures too? Roger that, said Miguel. That is walkie-talkie for yep. Now we can say cool stuff to each other, like over and out. That's walkie-talkie for I'm done talking. The walkie-talkie was a very good gift. Clark wanted to give Miguel a gift too. She found the perfect thing in her adventure bag. You'll need this on our adventures, said Clark. Very cool, said Miguel. He looked at the round object in his hand. It had a red and blue needle that spun around and 4 letters, N-E-S-W. What is it? He asked. A compass, said Clark. The red end of the needle always points north. If you line it up with the N, it will lead you home. Miguel lined up the red end of the needle with the N. Then he walked in the direction it pointed. Before he knew it, he was in his front yard. The compass works, said Miguel over his walkie-talkie. He waved to Clark. The walkie-talkies work too, said Clark. Let's go exploring soon. Roger that, said Miguel. Over and out. Our next section, the adventure map. Clark put on her adventure socks. She packed her adventure bag. It was time to go exploring. Miguel, come in, Miguel. Are you ready for our first adventure? Clark called over her walkie-talkie. Roger that, Miguel replied. Bring your compass, said Clark. Over and out. Miguel met Clark in her front yard. I need to know how to get around my new neighborhood, said Clark. So today's mission is to make a map. Like a treasure map? Asked Miguel. No, said Clark. This will be an adventure map. Clark opened her adventure bag. She pulled out colored pencils and a pad of paper. We will start here, see? This is my house, said Clark. Put mine on there too, said Miguel, north of your house. Clark added a house right above hers. Now let's use your compass. Which direction should we go? Asked Clark. Miguel looked down at his compass. He still wasn't sure what the other 3 letters meant. Let's go toward the W, Clark decided. Miguel lined up the red end of the needle with the N. Then he walked in the direction of the W. Wow! We found a river, shouted Clark. Aha, said Miguel. Now I get it. The W is for water. No, said Clark, giggling. W means west, E is for east, and S is for south. Clark added wavy lines to the left of their houses on the map. We should go in all the directions so you can fill your map, said Miguel. To the south, they found a church and a market. To the east, they found a school and a park. Clark added each new location to her map. Finally, it was time to go in the direction Miguel had been avoiding, north. They started walking. Just as he feared, north led them back home into the end of their adventure. Our next section, the treasure map. The next morning, Miguel got on the walkie-talkie. Let's go find treasure, said Miguel. Meet me at the park and bring the treasure map. Over and out. It's not a treasure map, said Clark. But Miguel didn't hear her. He was already halfway to the park. Clark grabbed the adventure map. She put on her adventure socks, and she headed out. Clark met Miguel at the park gate. This park is huge, said Miguel. There has to be treasure here. Clark took out her colored pencils. Where should we look first? Miguel took out his compass. Let's go west, he said. We found a pond, shouted Clark. Are you sure W doesn't stand for water? Asked Miguel. Clark smiled and added a blue circle to her map. The 2 explorers searched the pond. No treasure. They searched the gazebo and the playground. They even searched a creepy-looking tree. No treasure. Then they found a sand pit. Buried treasure, said Miguel. They dug and dug and dug. Still no treasure. I need a break, said Clark. Do you want a snack? She offered some adventure fuel to Miguel. As they sat, they looked over the map. This map does kind of look like a treasure map, Clark said. It just needs an X. That gave Miguel an idea. I know where the treasure is, shouted Miguel. He jumped up and took off running. He ran east toward a blank spot on the map. Clark chased after him. Miguel stopped at the old train tracks. There is treasure here, I'm sure of it, he said. Clark searched the tracks. She found 3 pennies and 1 nickel. Treasure, shouted Miguel. How did you know we would find treasure? Asked Clark. X marks the spot, replied Miguel. He pointed to the railroad crossing sign. Clark added an X to her map. See, it really was a treasure map, said Miguel. Our last section, over and out. We need cool code names for when we use our walkie-talkies, said Miguel. My code name could be Dung Beetle, he said. Gross, Clark laughed. Then she thought of the coolest name she could. My code name is Thunder Walrus, Clark said. Wow, said Miguel, you are good at code names. Come on, Dung Beetle, said Clark, we should get home. I am rethinking my code name, said Miguel. Mine stinks. They started home following their map. Do you hear music? Asked Miguel. Yeah, where is it coming from? Asked Clark. The music got louder as they walked. Then they stopped. Clark's and Miguel's eyes got wide. Ice cream! They both screamed. They ran over to the ice cream truck. Clark read through all the flavors. Miguel and the ice cream man chatted. He showed the man the treasure from the park. Then Miguel traded their treasure for 2 large ice cream cones. Clark was amazed. 2 cones for 8 cents? You are really good at trades. Miguel shrugged. The ice cream man loves treasure. Clark smiled and added the ice cream truck to her map. The map was complete. The ice cream was gone. The adventure was over. Clark took off her adventure socks. Then she taped her adventure map to the wall. Clark's walkie-talkie buzzed. Come in, Thunder Walrus. Are you there? Said Miguel. Roger that, said Clark. I came up with a new code name. Captain Compass, said Miguel. It's perfect, said Clark. I am glad I found an adventure friend, she said. Me too, said Miguel. Over and out. And if you want, you can pause at this side. These Acorn books have a draw the character part, and you can go ahead and draw the character following the steps. Thank you for joining me, everybody. This has been Turner Tutoring for another story time. I wish you guys all a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great one.